Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind impactful startups, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Sinthujah Wimalathas, the founder of SANARAS Coaching, a holistic performance and wellbeing consultancy dedicated to helping corporate professionals move from beyond burnout and discover a life of purpose, balance, and joy. Cindy, thank you so much for joining me today. Very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here today, Olivia. Thank you.
I'm excited to have you here and I'm really excited to dive in and learn everything that we can. With all my guests, I do like to start at the beginning of their journey to give the listeners a little bit of context moving forward. So maybe what was it you was doing beforehand, and then what prompted you to start up the company and move forward from there?
Yeah, so thanks for the question. And my journey very much started in banking. So I was in financial services for over 15 years. But I have to say that I fell into it by accident in a way, because after I finished my bachelor's degree in computing with business management, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. And even the degree that I did wasn't something that I chose because I was passionate about it, but I chose it because it felt like the right thing to do. And I always joke about the fact that banking found me rather than the other way around. But once I got in, I actually really enjoyed it, I have to say. And I was very blessed because I started my career with Goldman Sachs, and it was a pretty intense environment, but I was surrounded by the most hardworking, the smartest people who very much showed me how to really build your career as well. So I was able to build a solid foundation there and had a great time. There were some ups and downs, as with any career. And I was in a really good place. But then COVID hit in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that made me reevaluate and think about things that I really wanted in life. And I felt that even though I felt like I had everything, there was still a piece that was missing. And I felt I wasn't really doing the things that I really wanted to do, the things that I was
Yeah.
passionate about. And again, you look around, people were suffering, the whole world was going through something, and I also felt frustrated about not being able to do something there. Long story short, I thought, you know what, we only have one shot at life. Let me do the things that I really want to do. And I enrolled to do a master's in psychology and neuroscience of mental health.
Amazing.
Psychology was something that I have always been passionate about, but I chose not to study it at the time because I felt it might not necessarily give me the safety and security that I needed at the time.
Yeah.
And neuroscience of mental health was something that I had discovered literally 4 months before the lockdown. So I became the mental health first aider, or one of the mental health first aiders in the workplace. And when I went through that training, I got some great insight to mental health challenges that professionals were facing every day.
Mm-hmm.
And especially in financial services, it's still very male dominated. So you have
Yeah.
a lot of men very much suffering in silence. So nobody would raise their hand and ask for help or say that, look, I'm struggling with this. So they were just pushing through. And even though the support and the infrastructure is there, you do have on-site psychologists, you do have mental health first aiders, you have all the support that you need. People just felt if they did ask for help, they might not necessarily get the next promotion, they might not necessarily get the opportunity to move up. So yeah, they just carry on. I like clearly identified there was a gap there, there was something there that needs to be done. And I also felt that people were uncomfortable speaking about those things with people internally, as in, again, people
Yeah.
want to be cautious. So at the end of my master's, I had a choice. I could either go into clinical psychology or coaching, and those were the two choices that I had narrowed down for myself. And I chose coaching because A, I know it's forward looking, and B, it also helps people really A, be clear about the goals that they want and really help them achieve that as well. And I felt that I was in a very unique position where I had this background in the corporate world. I had all this knowledge in finance and I knew how the corporate world operates.
Mm.
I wanted to become that bridge between the corporate world and psychology. Because even me, sometimes psychologists would come on site and they would talk about well-being and how to
Mm.
manage your schedule, etc. And you think immediately, but you have absolutely no idea how this environment
Yeah,
operates, right? So I felt like people could relate to me a lot better because I've been through this myself. So that's how my journey started. And July 23, that's when I launched SANARAS Coaching.
amazing. So how empowering, as you say, going through the journey yourself, then rediscovering or maybe rediscovering what you wanted to study even before taking that step into banking and then coming
Mm.
full circle. Do you find that because you have done that yourself, as you mentioned, gone through the cycle, been within the companies where the burnout is real and the stigma behind the mental health during like work-life balance, I suppose is the way I would put it. Do you feel that
Yeah.
that helps you build a better rapport with the people you're working with moving forward?
Yeah, 100%, because I can relate to the challenges that they're
Yeah.
going through. And I think one of the things that I didn't mention is during that training, I realized how my mental health has also been impacted throughout my career. And I didn't realize it was a mental health issue. I didn't realize that's how it shows up until I then studied about it. So I know that for a lot of people, it is really awareness, the lack of educational information are on this topic, right? And yeah, because I have gone through those things myself and now have the tools to back it all up, people feel that they can relate to me and I can understand them and I can understand
Hmm.
the challenges they're going through. So it definitely does make a difference.
How crazy and great as well for yourself that you was able to recognize it and discover it for yourself as well and help your well on
Yes,
top of being able to help
yes.
other people now moving forward.
Exactly. And look, and that's one of the things that I always say, like no paycheck or no great career is worth you having to sacrifice your health or happiness for it, right?
Yeah,
And that really
100%.
has to be the top priority for you because only if you have that can you really live life to the fullest, not just for yourself, but for all the people around you.
Exactly that. Yeah, you need to be present at top shape. Like people think of health and mental health as very different things, but you wouldn't
Yeah,
necessarily turn up to work sick and not being able to get out of bed or not
yeah,
right,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
But
yeah,
different headspace, it comes slightly different. As you say, sometimes the stigma is more of a weakness
yeah.
rather than just, I'm just having a bad day.
Awareness, exactly. I would actually turn that more into awareness
Yeah,
because sometimes we choose to ignore those signs as well, and that we shouldn't. And I'm also glad that you mentioned health and well-being or mental health and well-being because the dissertation that I did was actually on the bidirectional link between depression and diabetes too,
amazing.
which kind of gives you a really good insight to the strong connection between the mind and the body, right?
Yeah,
80% of our physical ailments actually start in the mind, which most people don't even realize, right? If you are working in a high pressured environment and you are stressed, and not only stressed, but you're chronically stressed for a long time, that can definitely have an impact on your physical well-being. So it is important that we do something about that and be proactive rather than reactive. So yeah.
100%. It needs to be top
Mhm.
of mind at all times. I do want to dive into the business itself so they can
Yeah,
have more context of what it'd be like to work with you.
yeah,
So let's start with maybe what your ideal customer looks like.
yeah.
And then what services and offers do you provide off of the back of that once you're working with them?
Yeah. So my ideal customer or client is a professional who's been in the corporate world for quite some time. And that's how I started as well, 10 to 15 years experience. And they feel that they are at a crossroad. Either they feel that they have stagnated in their career and don't necessarily know how to accelerate it, how to either move up or move into a different area, and they need
Hmm.
some guidance with that. Then there is another group of clients who want to exit. They feel like, look, I've had a solid career in
Yeah,
banking or where it might be, but I want to do something different now, but I just don't know what. So I help them gain that clarity and then also the tools to actually move in the direction that is suitable for them in the second chapter of their career. And then the
amazing.
third category are professionals who want to start their own business, like I did as well. And again, because I've gone through that journey, I help
Yeah,
them with founding their business, identifying their niche, identifying their skills, and the pain points that they want to help people with as well. So those are the three sort of areas. And what I find interesting is those are the things that I have gone through myself as well. And again, it goes back to being able to relate
yep,
to their pain points and then being able to provide the solution that they need as well. And yeah, and you know what, just to add, and this is how I started, right, in terms of 10, 15 years experience. And I felt that's where the majority of people start re-evaluating their careers.
Yeah.
And over the last 12 months, I've also noticed a lot of young professionals have started to approach me and they needed some guidance around how to even get started with their careers, how to lay the solid foundation, how to build a framework.
Mhm.
So I moved away from the idea of having an ideal client. And for me, it's really about having a client who is ready to
Yeah.
level up, who is ready to do the work, and who actually wants to work towards a goal that they have set for themselves. So it's a wide range of people.
Yeah, I understand a wide net, but at the end of the day, the people have to be there and wanting to serve themselves. So they're coming to you,
Absolutely.
know that they need to change, know they need to find their why. And then amazing that you add on and help them not only find their why and discover maybe the purpose of what they're looking for, but how to
Correct.
achieve that as well and how to get there and build their business. Because jumping from corporate to being an entrepreneur is a big leap in
It's
itself.
huge.
So
Yeah.
it's great that you can help courage and support people through that
Mm,
bit as well.
yeah.
Defeating, as you said before, coaching is about looking forward. So it's like you're
Yeah,
preventing the
correct. Yeah.
burnout from happening again.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then so when it comes to acquiring customers, leads,
Mm.
have you got any channels or any methods that you're finding most effective in your lead generation at the moment?
Yeah, so you know what, I've actually been through a coaching program myself. This was before I had started my business because I
Okay.
needed to learn the skills around sales and marketing. Because, like you said, working for a corporate is very different to running your own business, right? So I ended up wearing multiple hats and I needed to know how to actually go about it. And this is where I learned. How to use social media effectively. I did try a couple, so I did try Instagram as well, but I felt, that wasn't really my place. And I felt more connected to LinkedIn. So that's my primary marketing tool these days. And that's where people find me. And that's where I share my content with
Yeah.
people as well. And then it's an art in a way when it comes to closing a sales deal as well. But it's really about being there for your prospects and for your potential clients and really hearing them out. What exactly is it that they need help with? And then also checking in with yourself as well. Can I help them? And do we have a connection? So I go through a chemistry call, as most coaches would do as well, because look, not every client would be the ideal client for me, and I might not be the ideal coach for them. And again,
Mhm.
it's really about understanding what's their pain point, what do they need help and guidance with. And only when we feel I can tick off all the boxes, they
Yeah.
are also ready, and we feel that this could work, that's when we progress to the next stage and we start the program. And the program will vary depending on their needs and their goals as well.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, and then with regards to LinkedIn, so that's obviously the main platform where you're choosing to build, as you said, the personal brand, making sure
Mm,
you're connecting with people on that level as
mm,
well. Are you
yeah.
running any form of outreach from this or any form of paid ads, or are you
Yeah.
just, is it all organic growth?
Yeah, no paid ads, so it's all organic. So what I do these days is I do create content on a regular basis, and that is something that A is needed to build trust, but B for me it's something that I do because I just want to share the knowledge that could be helpful for people. Because again, coaching is not something that everybody can afford. Not It's not always accessible to everyone. By me sharing a few nuggets here and there, I just find that there will be somebody out there who will find it helpful. So that's why I do that. So it's content creation, but then I do cold outreach as well. And again, sometimes, and yeah, you know what, some of my first clients in the first year were people who did not even realize that there was a problem until you actually have that conversation with them as well. And it goes back to awareness, and you just power through because that's all you know. So a lot of people actually find that initial conversation very enlightening, and then they choose to actually take that support and carry on from there as well. So
Yeah.
it's all part of the process. Yeah.
Love that. And as well with the content creation and the content you're putting out as well, it must be part of the awareness because sometimes I can imagine people are looking at it and going, can relate to it, but don't understand maybe why they relate to it. I'll be like,
Yes,
oh, this is the first time I'm hearing that that's the reason why I feel like this. Again,
correct.
come circle back and then keep yourself top of
Exactly.
mind to help
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
forward.
And you know what? And this is also a long game because sometimes you might connect with people on LinkedIn, say today, and they only reach out to you a year later. And those are things that have happened to me as well because They need to A, trust you. They need to have seen you for quite some time as well before they feel comfortable enough to actually have that conversation. And I hear these challenges a lot from other coaches as well who might try it for a bit and then they give up because nobody's biting or nobody is approaching them. And I'm like, no, consistency really matters. You need to stay in this because your mission is to help people, right?
Yep.
And if it's only if you stay at that, you will be able to create the impact that you want to create as well. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Consistency is key. Staying top of mind for people is key. As you say, the time might not be right once you've reached out to them at that point. But who knows, in a month's time, in a year's time, when they feel it's ready, they will come to you if you're the
absolutely.
first person they think of when they think about the subject.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing. And I mean, with regards to the sales process, I do want to touch back on it because you mentioned it earlier. So you're taking obviously discovery calls with the clients beforehand and then moving on to the sales. How have you found that transition? Are you enjoying it, running that side of it as well?
I am. You know what? And that's actually the part that I enjoy the most as well. I have to say, I don't enjoy the cold outreach as much.
I can imagine.
That can get a little robotic at times. And I've been thinking about should I be outsourcing it? Should I be delegating it? But it's something that I need to think about, right? But the actual discovery call process I really enjoy because I find even if the client does not or the prospect does not continue or choose to get on the program, they still get value out of that first conversation we have. And for some people, again, that can just be the starting point of something that could happen at some point next year or whenever it might be. So I'm not, again, I always say, and I say that to my clients as well, always focus on the process. Don't focus on the goal. You need to keep both eyes on that. And the goal is a byproduct, right?
Yeah,
So if you turn that prospect into a client, that's great. But if you don't, that's great as well because you have actually done something valuable for them, right?
100%. And again, who knows what happens in the future if you've built a good
Exactly.
enough connection, done the right thing to start with.
Yeah,
Moving on from there, it will all just roll in and generate
exactly.
itself.
Yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
amazing. So I do want to move on to what the next 12 months has in store for you. So are
Yeah,
there any specific goals or milestones that you're looking to achieve over the
yeah.
next 12 months?
You know what? For the first couple of years, my focus has really been on one-on-one coaching and really working with corporate professionals across different industries, helping them achieve their goals.
Yeah.
But starting from next year, I actually want to start working more with corporates as well.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I find is, look, you can provide the tools for the professionals. They might be doing all the right things. They know what they need to do in order to protect their mental health, their physical health, and well-being. But if the environment is not supportive of that, they might still struggle, right? It's really about now elevating that and raising awareness with corporates as well. And even though the awareness might be there, it's really about how intentional are you about
Yeah.
integrating or incorporating certain rules or ways of working, flexibility, whatever it might be, to not only help the individual, but it will actually also help the organization in the long run. So that's my next step in terms of scaling the business.
Amazing. Yeah. So we've got the one-to-one coaching, and then I'm assuming when you say to intercorporate, are you looking to integrate into the business life itself and then run training courses for the whole company, or is it more of a program that you're looking to implement?
It would be a program that I would be
Okay.
introducing to the company and run
Nice.
training courses and coaching for teams rather than individuals.
Yeah.
Because again, it goes back to accessibility as well.
Mhm.
Not everybody can afford it. And I think when an organization recognizes A, the need for it,
Yeah.
B, the benefits for it, again, not only for the individual, not only for the professional, but then also for the wider team, for the wider organization,
Yeah.
they would want to invest in that. And I think given my background in finance, I can also make the link between productivity, growth, and profitability. And that's key here as well.
Yeah, I think so too. A happy work environment always is going to produce happy
Oh yeah,
offspring. So it all
100%.
kind of comes tied and hand in
Mhm.
hand the whole way
Correct.
down the thing.
Yeah.
So what would you say is the biggest challenge in making all this happen at the moment?
You know what? My biggest challenge right now, I would say bandwidth. And what I mean by that is, yeah, you know what, when I think about marketing, content creation, and all of that, for example, engagement on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
I'm doing everything by myself at the moment. And And even though I know AI tools are out there, a lot of people are using it, I just don't want to be one of them because I do want my content to be authentic, want my commentary to come from me rather than from an AI bot or from someone else who I have delegated that task to. So I think it's really about juggling all of that and then also see what are the processes that I can then delegate to someone. And this could be freelancers, it could be VAs. And that's something that I need to think about and really, start structuring as well as I, go into next year.
Yeah, 100% kind of freeing up your time to work on the business rather than in it and continue with
Correct.
that.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Amazing.
And then the outreach bit, like I said,
Yeah,
it's not something that I enjoy as much. So that could definitely be something that I can see myself delegating at some point in the future as well.
amazing. And have you got any kind of targets of amount of customers you're looking to hit a month or by the end of the year?
No, I never work with
Okay,
targets. I think for me, it's really about the impact.
nice.
And sometimes you could have a few really great high scale clients as well. And you know what? Don't forget, clients always come back to you as
Yeah.
well. It's really about building that long-term relationship. And I think one thing that's really important to me is we spoke about marketing, right? And I mentioned LinkedIn, but my actually most powerful marketing tool right now is word of mouth, right?
Okay.
This is satisfied clients
Yep.
actually go out and speak to their friends and colleagues about it. I had a client who was like, I wasn't sure if I want to share you with my partner, but I think she can definitely benefit from that as well. And this is the most powerful thing that can
Yeah.
happen for you as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Quality over quantity, I would say.
Quality over quantity, and it's nice that as a referral system, the quality is always 90% there as well, as you say, because they're coming through word of mouth. They trust the
Yeah,
system already. They know who you are. They know you've already helped a friend or a colleague or whoever that may be.
correct.
So it's
Exactly.
lovely. And I do want to touch on what you mentioned before with AI in regards,
Mm,
because I feel like it's quite popular at the moment.
yeah,
Everyone, yeah,
yeah,
and it is a big help and a big game changer, and a lot of founders I speak to implement it very well. But I like the fact
mm,
that you focus on the human connection as well, because I think they can come
yeah,
hand in hand, and a lot of the people are leaning too much on AI, so
yeah.
losing the kind of actual human touch,
Authenticity. Yes,
authenticity,
I
exactly.
agree. I agree. Yeah. Especially with the work that we do as well. And you know what? I've had several conversations with other coaches, therapists as well, who were having conversations around can AI actually replace the work that we do? And my answer is absolutely not. And there are lots of trials that have been done as well where you can have a coaching conversation with
Yeah,
AI versus a real human being. And it's really about the things that people don't say that a coach can pick up on that AI never can, right?
yeah,
So, and then also probing, challenging, those are things that AI doesn't do because it's there to validate you. So, for me, especially with the work that I do, I definitely don't want to lose that human touch. And even when I see some comments on my post, I can always see and I can always tell that's not written by a human being, it's written by AI. So I don't want us to lose that element at all.
yeah.
Mm.
The generic spark is a word that comes to mind a lot,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
it's like everything looks like it's AI. I will
yeah,
admit, I'll hold my hands up. I have spoke to ChatGPT as a therapist, and or you see it online and you follow the trend. I like to experiment and see what it throws back at
mm,
me. But you're 100% right. It doesn't pick. Also, because you're putting that information in yourself, whereas a
yeah,
coach is asking you questions and you're
yeah,
probably being more honest because they probe you. As you
correct.
say, they picked up on little signs. Maybe you're like sitting in a funny angle, your body language, whatever it may be, eye contact.
Exactly.
ChatGPT, it's only picking up what you're putting into it.
Yeah,
If you're not
correct.
honest about what's
Yeah,
going into it, you're not going to
yeah.
get an honest answer from it.
It's very one-sided. And look, there are, and we've tested that as well. There will be some guidance, some answers that can be helpful and that can give you what you need at that
Yeah.
time. But then it can also miss a lot of things that are important, right? Questioning you around perspectives, challenging your thoughts, etc., etc. So yeah, we can use it with a little bit of caution. I use AI a lot. It
Yeah,
helps me
100%.
structure my thoughts. It helps me brainstorm as well. So it should be there as a strategic thinking partner, but it shouldn't replace you because
Yeah.
there's only one of you, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little buddy. It's like a pocket friend that can do
Correct.
little tasks for
Yeah,
you and help you
exactly.
evolve. I think it's a
Yes,
great tool for it.
yes, absolutely.
Amazing. So just before we wrap up, I do want to ask you
Mm,
one final question, and we've breezed through the time, which is amazing. I've had a great conversation. So to leave it off, what advice would you leave to maybe our listeners at the start of their own journey? So what advice would you leave them with to help them get going at the moment?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is I find sometimes people wait until they have it all figured out before they can start something. And I think the truth about entrepreneurship and actually life in general as well is that you don't have all the answers when
Yeah,
you start, and you have to be okay with that. You need to be open to learn. You need to understand and accept that things can be figured out as you go along as well. You will be okay to pivot. You might have to change. You might have to change your ideas, whatever it might be. But I think the most important thing is to get started if you really have a passion for something, if there is a mission that you care about. And those are things that I tell my clients as well who are looking to build a side hustle, right?
yeah,
Yes, you don't have to have all the answers. You just have to get started, and the answers will come to you when you're open enough to actually look for them and find them as well. Okay.
love it. Powerful. Thank you so much. And
You're
with that,
welcome.
that is a wrap on another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Cindy, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible insight and journey with us. Where can people reach out to work with you or connect if they'd like to?
Yeah, so LinkedIn is probably one of the main channels, and there you can find me under my name, Cindy or Sinthujah Wimalathas, or the company site, it's called SANARAS Coaching. You can also find me on my website, that's sanarascoaching.com, which is also on my background here. And like I said, I do have a presence on Instagram, but I am not very active there, but there will be ways to find me there as well.
Amazing. So, to our listeners, please go and connect with Cindy if you'd like to do, and do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from 0 to 30 million per year in less than 3 years. And until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.